Hey y'all, welcome back to Mama Never Told Me. Now today's episode is a little different. This isn't a full episode. This isn't an interview. Think of this as a pause between chapters because over the next couple of weeks, we're about to get into some conversations that I think a lot of women have either been waiting to hear or maybe didn't even realize they needed. And it all started with something I went through last year. Now, if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you know that last year was not an easy year for me. My heart rate was going crazy. My blood pressure was going up. I was in and out of the ER, seeing doctor after doctor after doctor. And every time I tried to explain what I was feeling, I kept hearing the same thing. It's just menopause. Just. Like that one word was supposed to explain everything that was happening inside my body. But the truth is, nobody had ever really explained menopause to me. Nobody told me about the emotional side of it. Nobody told me about the mental side of it. Nobody told me how your whole body can start changing in ways you don't expect. And that got me thinking, if I'm 53 years old and I'm just now trying to figure this out, what about the women in my family? What about my sister? What about my mama? Did anybody explain this to them? Did anybody sit them down and tell them what was happening to their bodies as they got older? Or were they just figuring it out the same way a lot of us are? One confusing symptom at a time. So I started having conversations. Real conversations. The kind of conversations that women don't always have out loud. The kind of conversations that sometimes only happen in kitchens, or on the phone, or late at night between sisters. And the first person I talked to was my sister Tinka. Now let me tell you something about my sister. She is one of the funniest people I know. But when we started talking about menopause, she said something that had me laughing and confused at the same time. She said menopause to her was like Bigfoot, something she had heard about but never actually seen. Now when she said that, I remember thinking, must be nice. Because while some of us out here are dealing with hot flashes and heart rate changes and brain fog and trying to convince doctors that something is actually wrong, my sister is over here like menopause never even knocked on her door. Same bloodline. Two completely different experiences. And that conversation opened my eyes to something. There is no single story of womanhood. Every woman's body tells its own story. Some women go through menopause and barely notice it. Some women go through menopause and feel like their body turned upside down overnight. And some women never had anyone explain any of it to them in the first place. Which brings me to the next conversation. My mama. Now, my mama is about to turn 79 years old. And when I asked her what it was like growing up as a woman before anyone explained menopause, her answer stopped me in my tracks. She said something that I think a lot of women from her generation could probably relate to. She said, "Nobody ever explained nothing to me." And when she said that, I realized something. For a lot of our mothers and grandmothers, there were no conversations about menopause. There were no podcasts, no YouTube videos, no TikToks explaining hormone changes. They were just living life and learning about their bodies in real time. Sometimes confused, sometimes scared, sometimes just pushing through because they didn't have another choice. And that right there, that's the generational gap. Because today we have access to more information than never before. But somehow, a lot of us are still walking around trying to figure out our bodies on our own. So over the next 2 episodes, I'm doing something very special. On March 17th, you're going to hear my conversation with my sister Tinka. And trust me, that conversation is going to make you laugh. But it's also going to make you think about how different women can have completely different experiences when it comes to menopause and hormonal changes. Then on March 24th, just 2 days before my mama's birthday, you're going to hear my conversation with her. And that conversation, that one is deeper. Because it's about what happens when an entire generation of women grows up without anyone explaining what their bodies are going through. It's about silence. It's about survival. And it's about finally having conversations that maybe should have happened a long time ago. So if you're listening right now, I want you to think about the women in your life. Your mama, your sister, your aunties, your daughters. Have you ever asked them what their experience has been like? Have you ever asked your mama what menopause looked like for her? Because you might be surprised by the answers. And sometimes those answers explain a lot about why certain conversations never happened in the first place. So over the next couple of weeks, we're going to open that door together. We're going to talk. We're going to listen. And maybe we'll start understanding each other a little better along the way. Because some things Mama never told us, but we're allowed to talk about them now. And I can't wait for y'all to hear these conversations.